What's going on, fantasy football world? We are the Shiver. We are back for week 4 point spread and over-under analysis. We're going to go through each game. We're going to put our picks in. We're going to keep track of who totals what scores. We're going to have 3 locks we're going to give you guys. Those locks are going to count a little more value towards our overall. The loser of the week is going to be the clown of the week. We'll figure that punishment out later, but we're going to keep track of this all year so we can do this just for fun and entertainment purposes only. So, before we get started, I'm Brian.
I'm Brad.
Let's dive right in.
All right, so we're going to start with the 1 o'clock games. We're going to go all the way to Monday night. So the first game on Sunday, we got Minnesota and New Orleans. So we just got a bunch of injury updates on the Saints game. I know Winston is doubtful. I don't think he's playing. That's going to hurt pretty bad. Michael Thomas is out. So Olave is going to be the number 1 receiver there this week, and I don't like them. I don't like them as a pick for what we're doing here. So we got Minnesota minus 3.5. The over/under is 43.5. I'm going Minnesota to cover that minus 3.5. The game's not necessarily at home. Nobody's got a home game there. We're overseas, so they're both traveling. So yeah, I'm going to go Minnesota minus 3.5, and I'm going to go under 43.5. That's my picks for the first game.
So I'm going to stick with the theme of the under. I do like the under in this game. You got 2 teams, a little banged up, traveling to London. It's going to be interesting to see how those new pieces play in. What I like about the Saints is their defense contains really well. I think they hold Justin Jefferson to a decent game. I think that's enough, even with Andy Dalton. I'm going to go to 3.5. I'm going to take the Saints in about a 3-point game, but I'm going to stick with the under. I think this is going to be somewhat of a struggle offensively for both teams. Kirk Cousins in prime time, I'm going to call this a prime time game. Kirk Cousins struggles in those games. Give me the Saints. Give me the 3.5.
All right, so next up is the Cleveland Browns and the Atlanta Falcons.
So this game is a little bit more interesting than I thought it would be. I think these are 2 pretty evenly matched teams. I know Atlanta carries a 1-2 record in this game, but they've been competitive this year. What I like about the Browns is that even though they lost to the Jets, they were dominating that game. They just had a mental collapse. They did a Browns. They dominated the Steelers. They've played well all year. I know that's not prime competition, but neither is Atlanta. Give me the Browns in this game. With the minus 1.5. I'm going to lay those 1.5 points. I'm going to take the Browns minus 1.5. I'm also going to take the over in this game. So I think it gets into a higher scoring game. I like the Browns 31-23.
All right. So I'm going to go flip side, complete opposite. So there will be no tie at the end of this round of games, that's for sure. So, yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta. I got Atlanta plus 1.5, and I got under 47.5. I think the game stays close. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think both teams are they match up pretty well. So, yeah, I'm thinking like a 23-20 type of game. But, yep, I'm going to go Atlanta under 47.5.
All right. So we're a little different on opinions, obviously, in the first few games. Just to recap the Thursday night game, the Miami-Cincinnati Bengals game, we actually had that picked pretty close. We were trending the right way until that Tua Tagovailoa injury. Hopefully he recovers well. I don't think he should have been playing in that game, and I do believe we said that. So a little unlucky on that one. We did have Miami with the 3.5. Unfortunately, they were not able to cover that. Also stayed under. So if you had that, we were a little off on that game, but we had the same thing. So can't predict injuries. But moving to a game that Tua cannot hurt us in, we're going to go into my Washington Commanders against the team from Texas.
All right, so yeah, you got Washington versus Dallas. Dallas is the home team. Dallas is the favorite. They're minus 3.5. The under/over is at 41.5. And I'm going Dallas to cover that 3.5 spread against Washington. And I'm also going the over. I don't think it's a shootout. I don't think it's a high-scoring game, but 41.5 is kind of low. I think it, gets in that 45, 46 range. So yeah, I'm going Dallas. I'm going the over, and that's it for that one. Right.
I can't see myself picking any team from Texas to win this game. I'm just going to have to go with the Washington Commanders plus 3.5. My confidence level might not be the greatest, but that leads me into my lock of the week, and that is the over in this game. 41.5 a very low-scoring game. The last time these two teams met in Dallas, Dallas carved them up 56-14. I don't see Washington's defense being any more of a factor this week. I think this game gets into the 28, 25, 26 just kind of range. And with Dallas kind of getting up early and Washington really mounting a second half comeback. So I think it's going to get a little more high scoring. 41.5 to me is just way too low. I'm going to go ahead and take that over with the points.
All right, so we both got the over. Opposite on the teams. All right, the next one's you got the Seattle Seahawks, Detroit Lions. So 48.5, over's kind of high. Detroit is at home, -4.5. So I definitely 100% like the over. I think we've been talking about Detroit a lot, and their defense is allowing 32 points a game per week. So that's a pretty high number. And I think Seattle does have enough weapons to put points on the board. So I'm going to go Seattle. I'm going to take the points +4.5, and I am going over 48.5.
Okay. So Detroit has a ton of injuries on their front line. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown's missing this game. DeAndre Swift is likely going to miss this game. We kind of already knew this, though. Leads me to the Seattle line. Seattle is keeping games close. I'm going to have to go with Seattle on this one with the 4.5. I think that's a lot of points. I think you see a 3-point game, but I think you see a stay under on this one only because of all the injuries on Detroit's side. I'm going to go with like a 24-21 kind of game, which will put you just under that spread, but I'm going to take the 4.5 points with the Seahawks as well. Now, our next game is going to be your Indianapolis Colts at home as a 3.5-point favorite over the Tennessee Titans. I'll let you go first on this one.
Yes, I would love to go first. So, Colts at home against Tennessee, big division game. 3.5 points. I'm taking Indy for sure. I think that's one of my picks of the week. So, yeah, Indy is they dominate Tennessee at home. Usually they go to Tennessee and get beat by Tennessee at their home stadium. So I don't think Tennessee's as good as they were last year. I think they lost some weapons, and I don't think they're as good. I think Indy is starting to find their rhythm, starting to play better football. So I'm definitely going Indy -3.5, and I'm going to say it still stays under. It's a low scoring under. It's 42.5. I'm going to say under 42.5 and Indy -3.5.
I'm going to stick with you on the Colts. I like the Indianapolis line here. Last time these two teams played in Indianapolis, it got a little more high scoring. I'm going to go ahead and say the over hits on this one. 42.5, again, it's just a low number. And Tennessee's defense, not too confident. I think Indianapolis themselves could score in the 24-27 kind of range. If you put them at that score, and keep this game close like Vegas thinks it'll be, it's going to go over. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Colts, laying the 3.5, and I am going to go with the over 42.5. This is going to be a very boring game, it looks like. This is the lowest predicted game of the week, and that's going to be the Bears at the New York Giants. With this game here, neither offense is explosive, but if we're talking offensive efficiency, the Giants are a little better. They're going to be at home against a bad Bears offense, and that Giants defense is actually pretty decent. I like the Giants in this game. I also like this game staying under like a 19-6 kind of game. I don't think the Bears ever gain traction though.
Yeah, that Bears offense is pretty bad.
2-1 though.
And they're 2-1, yeah. So we got two 2-1 teams battling out. It's then who would have thought the Bears and the Giants?
I still don't believe it.
So both 2-1. Giants are -3.5. I'm taking the Giants. I just think the Bears offense, they're on the road. I don't like it. So I'm taking the Giants, and I'm taking also the under 39.5. We both agree on that game on both sides of the ball.
So that means the Bears are going to win in a high-scoring game if we both agree. Now, I still like the under. Like I said, I think that's a good play. The next game is going to bring me into my second lock of the week. We're talking the Eagles and the Jaguars. We've got a 6.5-point spread in favor of the Eagles. Jaguars coming in at 2-1. Eagles coming in at 3-0. This game for me, my lock is Jacksonville at 6.5. I just think the Eagles they're a good team. I've already picked them to win the Super Bowl just on a limb. I still think they're going to struggle in games, and this game has struggle written all over it. Jacksonville's coming in. They're playing well. They shut the Colts out 24-0. They're coming off a big win against the Chargers. It's 38-10. The Eagles are beating people, but they're not beating them heavily. Even the Washington game got within 16 points, and that game should have been a 40-point win. I'm just thinking Jacksonville keeps this close. If not, wins it outright. I'm taking the 6.5, and I'm going to go ahead and say this game goes over in a pretty decent shootout, actually.
Yeah, I like the over as well. So 46, I think there's a lot of points scored in this game. But I'm going to stick with Philly. I think Jacksonville at 2-1. That's another surprise team on the list here. So they're going to a really, really tough game against Philly. Philly's got a good defense, good offense, and I just think they're too much for Jacksonville to handle. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with Philly with the 6.5 points at home over 46.
Okay. So the next game we're going to talk about is the 1-2 New York Jets getting 3.5 points at the 1-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. All
right, I'll start this one off. So, Pittsburgh, minus 3.5 at home against the Jets. I love it. You got Zach Wilson coming back this week. This is going to be his first game of the year. I think he's rusty. I think he's always rusty, and I think he's going to stay rusty. So, yeah, I think Pittsburgh's defense is just going to eat him alive, and Pittsburgh, I think, dominates this game. So I'm going to go Pittsburgh minus 3.5, but I'm going to go over 41.5, as I think Pittsburgh puts up quite a bit of points here, maybe a couple of defensive scores, and keeps the Jets low. But yeah, I'm going over 41.5, minus 3.5 for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I see the same thing in this game. I just really don't like this game one bit. You got Zach Wilson coming back into an offense that's actually playing decent with Joe Flacco under center. So what we get out of Zach Wilson is an unknown. If it's anything like last year, it's going to be bad. But maybe he takes that step forward. I mean, the only time's going to tell. The first game back, I don't like making predictions on, but just because he's coming back into a hostile environment in Pittsburgh, I'm going to take the Steelers with laying the 3.5. And I'm going to go ahead and say it goes over. I think Pittsburgh can score into the 30s in this game. The Jets defense hasn't proven to be great this year. I like Pittsburgh in this game, and I'm just going to say Zach Wilson does enough to get this game over.
All right. So I'm going to say this next game is probably like my game of the week.
This could be the game of the week.
Definitely.
I like this game.
Yeah, definitely for the 1 o'clock games. It's definitely the game of the day for the 1 o'clock games. You got Buffalo and Baltimore. Baltimore games are just being absolute shootouts. They can't stop anybody. Lamar Jackson is just doing whatever he wants on the field. He's kind of unstoppable right now, so I don't think the Bills can contain him. I mean, I still think it's a shootout. I think both teams score a lot of points. The over-under is 51, and I would take the over if it was 61. So I'm definitely on the over. That's my lock of the week is the over in this game. So the point spread, I don't think Buffalo loses 2 in a row. So I think Buffalo comes out kind of they got some fire underneath them in this game, and I think they come out firing. So I'm going to go with Buffalo on the road, minus 3.5 and over 51.
So we're going to be a little opposite. I'm actually using my third lock of the week to take the Baltimore Ravens at home with that 3.5 points. Home underdogs typically perform well. You've got a Ravens team that isn't stopping anybody defensively, but isn't getting stopped offensively. The Bills secondary is a little banged up. The defense is a little banged up as a whole. I just think this game gets to be like a 31-30 kind of game. I'm actually going to say the over as well. I would really like the over in this game, and I think if the over was 70, I'm taking it also. I'm going to say, we're going to say 31 to 30-ish kind of range, though. I like that kind of score. I think it is going to be the Bills winning this game, but ultimately the 3.5 points are a lot to overcome on the road. I'm going to take Lamar Jackson as my lock with 3.5 points.
Alrighty. So we have one more 1 o'clock game. You got the Chargers, the 1-2 Chargers. So the Chargers are 1-2, the Bears are 2-1, Jacksonville's 2-1. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Some interesting games.
Against Houston. You got Houston are 0-2-1.
We kind of expected that. Now, for me, I think that these are two teams that are way undervalued and way overvalued. I think the Chargers are not that good right now. I just don't think they're playing well. They're not utilizing Eckler as much as they should be. A lot of banged up receivers. I just don't see the Chargers as being great right now, whereas I do see the Texans being better than projected. They're playing teams close. They should have beat the Colts. I mean, they've had some close games that they were in. I'm going to have to take Houston in the points at home. 5.5 is a lot of points against a team that's just underperforming right now. I'm going to take that 5.5, and I'm actually going to go the under because I don't think this game gets into the 40s at all score-wise. I think you're looking at like a 19-16 kind of game. Give me Houston, give me the points, and give me the under.
All right, and I actually agree with both of them. So I got Houston also. 5.5 is a lot for a home team to be given up. It doesn't really matter who they're playing; they seem to always cover. So 5.5, under 44. I agree with both of those. That's it for the 1 o'clock games.
Let's go right into the 4.
Go to the 4 o'clock games. So we got 3 games at 4 o'clock. We got only
4 games.
Only 3 games.
Oh, 3 games. Yeah, it is 3 games.
Yeah, only 3 games at 4 o'clock. We got one Sunday night game and a Monday night.
And we will get the Sunday night and Monday night games right this week. Promise.
All right. So, our first 4 o'clock game, you got Arizona and you got Carolina. These are both really bad teams. Also, I don't think either one of them are moving the ball great. Kyler Murray, I know I got him in one of my leagues, and he's driving me crazy until the fourth quarter comes, and then
playing to catch up.
He ends up performing. So, it's a tough one. So I'm going to go with Arizona. I think they just got more talent on the field than Carolina, and I don't really like Baker Mayfield at all. So I'm going to go with Kyler Murray in this one, plus 1.5 on the road, and the under-over is 43, and I'm going to go the under.
So I agree with Arizona. I'm going to go ahead and take Arizona as well. I'm going to go opposite on the over-under. I'm actually thinking this is a get-right game for both offenses. If you've got Kyler and Hollywood stacked like I do, fire them dudes up this week. I think they go for at least 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to go big here. I'm going to say 28-24 is kind of range. I just see this being a little more high scoring. It's trending as a low scoring game, which means it's not going to be. I'm just going to go against the grain, and I'm going to go ahead and say both offenses get it right. And don't be surprised if you see Sam Darnold by week 7. Just going to say Sam Darnold. If you lose your job to Sam Darnold, Baker, man, you can come be our guest star any day, but you're going to have to quit the NFL, bro. Let's go into another game that's actually kind of intriguing with the way it's lining up here. You're going to have the New England Patriots at the Green Bay Packers. Now, this is the biggest spread of the week at 9.5 points. I'm going to let you go first on this one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a huge spread for the NFL. Obviously, you got the Mac Jones injury. I think Jacoby Myers is still banged up. So there's a lot of injuries on the New England side of the ball. Green Bay, I think, is starting to get healthy. I'm going Green Bay. I mean, the spread's 9.5. It's a lot of points. But I'm seeing like a 27-13 kind of game, somewhere in there. And that puts us right at that under-over. The under-over's at 40.5, which that's also that's also a tough one too. So, yeah, I'm going to get Green Bay in the over. I think it just gets above that 40.5. So
I'm going to go the other way on both of these. So Mac Jones probably not going to play this game. He's up in the air. I really don't care if Mac Jones plays or not. I'm taking New England. There's a reason why. Green Bay's offense is underperforming. The Patriots' defense does excel. I think that's a matchup that you're going to see keep this in like the 21-13 kind of range. I just feel like if the Patriots can score 13, they can cover that spread, and I feel like they should be able to do that with what they have available. But I'm going to say the under. I think 21-13 is probably right around where I'm feeling this game going. I don't think it's going to be high scoring on either side. I really just don't know what to think about Green Bay's offense right now. They're very inconsistent, and the Patriots' defense is consistent. So give me New England with the 9.5, and give me the under on that game.
All right, so we got the last 4 o'clock game. We have Denver and we have Las Vegas. So Las Vegas is 0-3.
Surprisingly,
they're due for a win, right?
No.
I want to say yes, but I'm going to say no. So you got Denver coming in as a dog. They're on the road. They're plus 2.5. The under-over is 45.5, and Denver wins outright. I think Russell Wilson and
he's doing just enough.
Judy and Sutton and all these Javonte Williams and Gordon. They have so many weapons on offense, and it's crazy how they're not gelling. They're not putting it together yet, but they will. It will come sooner than later. I think I don't know if it's this week or not, but I still think they do enough to win this game. So I'm still going say it's a low scoring game. I don't think Denver's offense really puts it out there yet, but They do enough to win this game. So I got Denver plus 2.5, and I got under 45.5.
I'm actually going the exact same route on this game. I really like Cortland Sutton in this game. I think this is a game that he's going to excel. He's going to go for 100 and a touchdown, in my opinion. I think Russell Wilson gets a little better this game. I don't think he turns into dangerous. He gets into like lukewarmerous. I don't know. I kind of like Denver on the road here. I know 2.5 is a tough spread because that extra half point is big. 3.5 and 2.5 are toughest spreads for me to pick. I'm going to go the road team. I'm going to say they actually do win outright as well. Although this game should be the Raiders game, I'm going to say the Broncos. And I'm going to take the under as well. I think that Broncos defense is just too good. They don't let anything get going. And my shiver of one of my shivers of the week was Devontae Adams. I think him and Derek Carr both struggle this game.
All right, sounds good. So
this is the actual Sunday night game. We're gonna get this right this week. We're gonna have the Chiefs going to Tampa Bay to take on Tom Brady and the Bucks. 1.5 point spread. The Chiefs are actually favored on the road here. So how do you think this game plays out?
Well, I've been preaching it for 2 or 3 weeks now. This is the week that Tom Brady breaks out. You got Mike Evans back. I'm pretty sure you got Julio Jones back. You got Russell Gage coming out. You got that Tampa Bay offense I think it's the week they explode. Kansas City's a good football team too, so it's probably going to be a shootout. I think Tampa Bay's got a very good defense though, but I think Mahomes can overcome that and still put a lot of points on the board. So I'm going Tampa Bay at home, taking Tom Brady. I'm rolling with Tom Brady this week, and I'm going over 45.
So I'm going to go the opposite on the game. This game is hard to pick. I went back and forth numerous times on this one. You know, Tampa Bay as a home dog is very tough to bet against. I just don't think we're in the same Tom Brady era anymore. So I am going to take Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs going into Tampa Bay. I think they're going to go in. They're going to pull this one off by around 4 to 5 points. You're going to see that score go over, I believe. I just think Patrick Mahomes is going to be too much to overcome in this game. I think that you're going to see Travis Kelce break out this game also. I see this being a just vintage Kelce game with 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I'm just going to go with the road team. I'm just going to stick with it. So.
Alrighty, road team. All right, that's it for Sunday.
Let's get into Monday.
All right, Monday Night Football.
Actually, a good game on Monday night too.
Yeah,
I'm excited about this one.
These primetime games are a lot better than this past week. That was pretty horrible. So yeah, we got the Rams and we got the 49ers. Let's see. We got the Rams on the road plus 1.5. Under over is 43. This is a tough game to pick. Also, I think these teams match up very, very well. And I want to say San Fran usually has their number at home, but I'm going to flip the other side and go the Rams. I'm going to go the Rams getting the 1.5 points, and I'm going over 43.
I'm actually, I you can see here I X'd out the Rams on my paper. Just thinking about this game, I don't like Matt Stafford this week. I think the 49ers defense is good. I think at home they're going to play much better in prime time. Jimmy G makes that offense better because he's just more experienced. So with Jimmy G coming in, I have become more of a Niners believer than I was before. So I am going to stick with San Francisco at home. I'm going to go ahead and lay the 1.5 points. I think they win this game by maybe 6-ish, somewhere in that range. I do agree with the over, though. I think the over is going to hit in this game. I just think that the way the Rams struggle against opposing teams' receivers, I feel like Debo and Ayuk are just set up for a big game here.
Yeah, and it seems like no matter who you play against, you can't stop Cooper Kupp. So
Cooper Kupp's always tough.
He's going to eat. He's always going to get his. He's always going to get his.
I agree. I really like the over for that reason, but I said I don't like Matt Stafford in this game. So for that reason alone, I am going to shift to the Niners. I had the Rams highlighted. I've X'd that out. I am going to change my mind. We are allowed to do that. Again, for entertainment purposes only, this is not meant to go to your local bookie and drop your bankroll on any of these games. We're just having a little fun with this, and if you believe in us enough, feel free to bet whatever you think. But don't be mad at us. This is just for fun.
So yeah, we are going to keep track, and we're going to do some kind of little fun competition out of this between me and Brian. So every game we get right, we're going to receive 1 point. We're going to pick 3 locks every week. Every lock we get right, we're going to receive 3 points.
Same on the punishment, though. Everyone wrong is -1 point. Or you don't get no points. You actually lose points for your locks. So if you miss your locks, you lose 9 points.
And we will keep track. So if we're into like week 7 and Brian's -17, like don't listen to his picks. Like and I'm plus 34. You know what I mean?
The NFL, we all know the NFL's tough to pick, and I mean I'm starting to learn a lot as far as just doing more research. I'm starting to see the games you think are going to trend one way don't. It go the other way. So I'm starting to adjust my picks a little bit. I'm very confident though. My locks again, just to recap, I like the over 41.5 in the Washington team from Texas game. I really like Jacksonville plus 6.5 on the road against the Eagles. And I also like Baltimore at home getting 3.5 against the Buffalo Bills.
All right, and the recap on mine is Indy at home -3.5 against Tennessee. I think they pull that off pretty easily. And then I usually don't like doing locks and over-unders just because you can't predict a lot of stuff. You can't predict going for it on 4th and 1 on the 20-yard line and turning the ball over after a 7-minute drive. Like stuff like that like really kills the overs. But I'm going, I got 2 over-unders. I'm going Buffalo and Baltimore over 51. And I'm going Tampa Bay and Kansas City over 45. A lot of firepower in both them games. I think they both score high. So those are my 3. Indy, over Buffalo, over Tampa Bay.
Perfect. So we've got our locks in, guys. That's 3 each. Feel free in the comments to post what you agree with, what you don't agree with. We'd like to get other people's opinions. Also, go to Facebook, the Shiver Fantasy Football Insight. We're going to be doing a lot of threads in there. Every Sunday, we'll run a start-sit thread before the 1 o'clock games. This week, it'll be before the 9:30 game. So that way, if you've got some of those players, we can get them kicked off for you as well. We also like to, we'll post the primetime games, our score predictions for those. We'll also give you the over-unders that we like in those. And we'll, eventually, once we get enough subscribers, we'll be running contests where a person that gets closest to the actual score of the game is going to get something from us. We don't know what that's going to be yet, but subscribe. We'll get it going. We need at least 500 subscribers to even consider that. So get us one step closer. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button on Facebook and YouTube. We really appreciate you guys' support so far. I know this is still no editing in the videos, but we're working on it. We'll get there.
All natural, baby.
We'll get there. If you have suggestions on what can make these videos better, and don't say replacing us too, that's not going to help us. We really do want your input though. Please feel free to leave any suggestions, what you like, what you don't like. And appreciate your support again. Can't say that enough. So, Brad, do you have anything else to add to this video?
No, I think that's it. I think I'm ready for Sunday.
Oh, it's almost Sunday, guys.
All right. So,
we are almost there. It is Friday afternoon. We've got college all day tomorrow. In the off season, we're going to be doing some fun stuff with some of these college players. We're going to be doing a lot of content with that too. So keep an eye on some of these college games. Have fun with football. Sunday's coming.
Yeah, don't forget that Sunday game starts at 9:30 a.m.
At 9:30 a.m., have your lineups in. A lot of you guys may have Dalvin Cook. Keep an eye on him. It looks like he's going to play. Justin Jefferson's not even a question. The only other guy you may or may not consider is Taysom Hill out of that game. Michael Thomas is out. I like Chris Olave. I really like Chris Olave in that game.
Yeah.
Really
whether it's Dalton or Winston, I think Olave is the main target there. I think he's going to get his looks no matter what. But it is obviously a little bit concerning with the quarterback switch if they switch. But if I get Winston can't go. But I still think Olave eats. I think he does good.
We're actually going to do a video here shortly, within the next week or so, on guys that we think should be picked up as league winners. So we're going to look at Chris Olave possibly in that video. We're going to be taking guys that are either on your waiver wire or could be guys that are on people's bench stash somewhere that you can maybe try to trade for that we think in the long run are going to be guys that can help you win your league. So that's a video you definitely want to keep an eye out for if you're struggling with who to keep on your bench, who to target on the waiver wire. So other than that, we've got our picks in. I'd love to hear from you guys and your picks. Feel free to comment those for us. Until then, I'm Brian.
I'm Brad.
We are out.
We are out.
Screw Dallas. Go Commanders. I'm just going to hit the stop button in front of them.